Japanese banks have a lot of cash and are unable to use it at home. The Japanese market is suffering under negative interest rates, which is cutting into banks' profitability and shrinking their lending margins. And firms in the market are avoiding loans and keeping cash on their balance sheets. This has pushed Japanese banks to expand abroad in search of trade finance, M&A, and investment deals overseas. And one of the main regions in the world is Africa. The three megabanks said they would expand their operations in Africa recently, following Prime Minister Abe's pledge to bolster measures to boost investment in a resource-rich continent. SMBC, Mizuho Bank, and the Bank of Tokyo-Mitsubishi are aiming to help Japanese companies tap into the market and support development of the corporate sector in Africa, and to also seek for investment in infrastructure. Japan's Prime Minister pledged that Japan will mobilize a total of $30 billion in private and public sector funds to invest in Africa over 3 years to boost infrastructure building in a resource-rich continent. According to the World Bank, only 1/3 of Africans living in rural areas are within 2 kilometers of an all-season road, compared with 2/3 of the population in other developing regions. And power, according to the World Bank, the 48 countries of sub-Saharan Africa generate roughly the same amount of power as just Spain. The cost of addressing Africa's infrastructure deficit is estimated to be approximately $90 billion every year for the next decade, with spending needed for new investments as well as operations and maintenance. There is a lot of opportunity for banks across the world. Infrastructure financing must look beyond aid, and governments have to look at alternative financing solutions that are economically feasible and viable. SMBC has recently said it has agreed with the Eastern and Southern African Trade and Development Bank, something like the World Bank, to offer loans of up to $80 million to the African Bank. SMBC has also signed a business partnership with the African Development Bank along with another major organization. Mizuho Bank said separately that it has agreed to form a business tie-up with 6 African financial institutions, including the Zambia Development Agency and the Development Bank of Southern Africa, with an eye to providing financial services know-how and promoting the banking sector in the region. Meanwhile, BTMU said it has reached a business cooperation agreement with the Kenya Investment Authority. With Kenya seen as an economic hub in Eastern Africa, the bank plans to receive information about new investment projects and provide it to Japanese firms. At the Tokyo International Conference on African Development in the Kenyan capital, which wrapped up a few weeks ago, the Prime Minister of Japan said that Japan will mobilize a total of $30 billion in private investment, mainly in roads, infrastructure, and other areas that can help develop Africa. Japanese banks are now following Chinese banks into Africa to find new and emerging opportunities in infrastructure, trade finance, and corporate investment deals, just as the Chinese have been doing for around 10 to 15 years or so, leading by ICBC. However, there is still plenty of room for Japanese banks to find opportunities within Africa. Let's just see how they do in the region. If you all enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, share it with your coworkers, and we will continue to follow Japanese banks' development and overseas deals in Africa and China and Southeast Asia and Europe. Subscribe, share it with your friends, your coworkers, and I hope you all have a good day.